Hi, Mike Sarah here from Customer States. If you're searching for the highest quality additives, lubricants, or cleaners for your automotive, heavy equipment, agricultural, or industrial machinery needs, look no further than the Justice Brothers line of products. From lubing your chainsaw, performing a complete fuel system treatment and decarb service on a customer's vehicle, keeping that forklift forking and lifting, or just need a can of that famous JB80 penetrant to persuade a rusty bolt, Justice Brothers has you covered. Travis Ferris of Hit Distributing is not only Southern California's authorized Justice Brothers distributor, but also a great friend of mine. Over the years, Travis has helped me and my dealership with anything and everything we need, including all the lines of Justice Brothers products and even equipment to perform the various services we may need for our specific application. HIT stands for honesty, integrity, and trust, so you know when you contact Travis, that's exactly what you'll get. That, combined with Justice Brothers supplying superior quality automotive products since the 1940s and 75 years in the racing industry, you will have absolutely everything at your disposal to get the job done. Justice Brothers is proudly made in the USA, and they have a satisfaction guarantee or your money back. Justice Brothers has the best quality products over any other competitor, and they'll gladly tell you that themselves. If you live in the Southern California area, call my man Travis Ferris at 805-208-7818. And if you don't, call him anyway and tell him I said thanks. And visit justicebrothers.com to learn more about their complete line of products. Justice Brothers, America's brand for quality. Hello, everybody.
You came too early.
And with that, we say,
And we're out.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another great episode of Customer States Podcast, where we talk about everything in the automotive industry. And as I can hear Jacob frantically clacking away at his pull tab,
Just you.
you know, it's both of you guys.
Yes.
Okay, Eric and Jacob. Let's go ahead and crack those, please, if we don't mind.
I don't. That's why I'm doing it.
oh shit.
Cheers, salute,
Unlike
Nostrovia.
Jacob, I never waste a drop.
Oh Lord.
Again, thank you back to Customer States.
Who's back?
We are.
Kim Kardashians?
Fuck those bitches.
My name is Mike Sarah. I wear a lot of hats in the automotive industry. To my left,
You're wearing a Cubbies hat.
I am wearing a Cubs hat today. Yes. Even though it's an off day, we're not playing. It's a travel day.
Eric. Cup holder thingy, majigger.
Oh, that one thing.
Gotta love Sack. Okay. And to my left
I love Sack.
is Eric Montenegro.
That's me, the one with the inappropriate comments.
Love sack.
Giggity.
That's a great song, by the way.
Love shack.
Love Sack. Heavy line technician, Ford Motor Company, 5 years. To my left is the absolutely amazing daddy bear, Jacob Reckon.
What about
There's no alley?
Oh my God! What? Oh,
Oh, here, hold on.
Hey, warranty claims.
what's up, guys?
The Ali Paul here. I get nervous when I speak into the mic.
I will not have this slander on.
You already laughed. But yeah, Ali,
Too late.
Ali's not here. She's doing family stuff or something.
Family things.
Yeah. Somebody's graduating
Stuff and things.
from prison.
Yay.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So I'm Jake.
I don't think they call that graduating. I think they call that release.
Yeah. My name's Jake. I'm a service advisor, assistant service manager, kind of. And I've been doing it for officially over 4 years now. So, yeah.
Wow. Well,
Congratulations.
dude.
It was, when was that?
I said congratulations, though.
I saw that.
Same shit.
I think my 4 year was the 15th of last month. My balloon leaked. So, yeah, I haven't left yet.
Well,
Yet.
that's good. Maybe I'll have the
That was the key word.
stick-to-itness.
Yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I do like the people that I work with and what I do, but it would be nice to get out of the auto industry.
Sometimes maybe good,
No.
sometimes maybe shit.
But mainly shit.
Yeah, well, it's up and down. That's how this industry goes. It's cyclical.
Yeah, that whole meme where it's not every pee-pee time is poo-poo time, but every poo-poo time is pee-pee time. It's kind of like that with the auto industry, where it's like all the good is not always bad, but it's always bad with the good. It's kind of the same thing.
I'm not familiar with that meme, but I think I understand what you're talking about.
Have you never seen that?
No,
it's
sir.
funny.
I don't either. I was.
Yeah, I saw Eric's go wide-eye like, oh, white people.
What just happened?
I believe I'm driving with your flow, however.
Speaking of white people.
Oh, God.
Hi, Samantha.
Sam!
Hey, Sammy.
Sam, hi. Hi, how are you?
So earlier she texts me 3 turtles. I was like, what's that for? And she was like, oh, it was for this. Let me just pull it up because I can't fucking remember what it is because I'm old.
And see this, this does pertain to the auto industry because Sam is a warranty admin.
She is. She says, that's my quote unquote awkward turtle for this comment.
What?
Oh, okay. Thank you. I said, that's a thing. I said, I didn't think it was awkward. She's like, you've never heard of awkward turtle? I said,
that's a negative ghost
no,
rider.
never. So she sends me a screenshot of her Google search of awkward turtle.
Oh, sweet God.
She says, oh my God, ha ha ha, such a white people thing to do. I said, yes.
You know what? I'm going to say white people don't want any part of this.
I said, yes, definitely is. And then she sends me another turtle. She goes, now that one was for me. Okay, bye.
Oh, my Lord.
Listener poll, have you ever heard of white turtle before?
No.
Awkward turtle.
White turtle.
Sorry, I'm mixing the two together.
Awkward
My
turtle
bad.
for
My
white
bad.
people.
Huh, no, I can't say I've ever heard of awkward turtle.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of becoming compliant.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. So where we work, you guys know it's Stone Age by quite a lot.
Yeah, Mr. Slate calls in and tells you
Yes.
when to leave for work at the end of the day.
And we don't have an ERO system. Our phones are ancient. Our DMS is ancient. Everything is just old. So California, where we all work, is very, and this is not political. The only way I can put this is very
careful.
Right. It's a heavy blue state, which is fine, but we've got those severe privacy laws.
Right.
Got enacted, and it started, but now it's like, it's fucking serious. You do not want to be non-compliant with this shit. And that's fine. Nobody wants their fucking personal business out in the ether. I get that. But now comes in our play. So with my background in IT, I knew that where we worked wasn't secure to where it needed to be. But today I learned how unsecure we are. We use public IP addresses. So anybody with, a decent amount of knowledge to be an asshole could, in theory, just take thousands of people's information. So the owner of the company's daughter was walking around with these little stickers that we have to put on our computer towers. That way they can keep track of them. If the sticker's removed, it shows that it has been and swapped, that type of crap. Mm-hmm. And I had to help her look up everybody's IP address and all of this. But what confuses me, or the ideology behind the business I work for, is it severely trip over a dollar to pick up a dime. We've got outdated equipment. We, repair things when it's probably already been, repaired 100 too many times. It's not going to stay fixed. It's, we repair something, it lasted for a year. Now down the line, it lasts for a week before it breaks again. Parts are becoming unavailable.
Good times.
Right. So with this whole trip over a dollar to pick up a dime, with this whole being compliant thing, with the privacy laws and whatnot, how long they've put this off, it baffles me that they don't realize if there really was a data leak from our business, it's going to cost them astronomically more money than it would to just get the place secure. Just private IPs, private networks, a little bit more security, hire a decent team for a week. Get everything buttoned up, then be done with it.
But that would make too much sense.
Being
I know.
part of a major corporation, we have to take
Major corporation. Oh, you're talking you. Okay, that's fair.
we have to take training on how to protect customers' information and stuff like that.
Oh, we had to take training too, but ours was sit at your desk. Here's an email with a video link. It tells us if you watched it. It's about 15 minutes long. Congratulations, you've completed your training.
Wow. I mean,
Bare
it's-
minimum. Bare minimum.
It is kind of wild though to think about it. I mean, so you leave an RO out on your desk, which happens, but the cleanup crew comes by and decides that they want to go visit this person's house for whatever reason. That customer's information is widely displayed to anybody that wants to come by and look at it. So these are the reasons why they have that sort of stuff, including the digital age, because now that's basically where everybody's at is all electronic repair orders and things like that.
Right. Well, when you were in the other room for a second, like I told Eric, it's like, it just takes one asshole with a decent knowledge of that type of stuff. It's really not that hard. All that you need is to crack one fucking password on either side of the dealership, and it's thousands of people's information just at a click.
Yeah.
So, and when you think it's like, oh, well, every single, 1,000 customers' information gets leaked, 1,000 of those customers decide to sue. Oh, goodbye to where I work.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the major issues.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised that you guys are getting by with what you have. I mean,
Fuck. Yeah. By the skin of my teeth.
yeah.
Like,
you guys spend more money on Band-Aids than you do to completely revamp the system.
That's the thing. And I get it, man. Every single dealership is going to have its moment with that, where it's like, okay, we're going to Band-Aid this, we're going to Band-Aid that. But it's like that whole place is held together by hopes, dreams, and duct tape.
In the appropriate situations, a Band-Aid here and there are okay. But yeah, your situation is a little bit different.
For a whole entire dealership, we share one AC machine that's on its last leg
Jesus Christ.
because the other one's been busted for over a year. And we will spend the money to get it fixed, but it only lasts for a week because it's beyond repair.
Well, you can't also buy those either. I mean, the one that I got just almost literally happened to fall off the back of a Snap-on truck. So, I mean, it was like literally placed in my hands.
And ours is back ordered indefinitely.
Kind of to go off of what you were talking about with it working for only a week and then it's dead. I had words with my fixed ops director this week.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I did.
So what happened?
So we are currently, no, that's a lie. He just started today. We got a new service manager today. Finally, it's the third one in 6 months.
I couldn't. I that's not the right soundbite. I wanted to play something different. I'm sorry.
We haven't had one for the past month. So the little,
Who's been running that place?
it's kind of been running itself. So the little,
Must be nice.
we'll call, I want to say something nice because I'm sure he listens. The young man that works in the service office as the service director's personal assistant.
The assistant to the.
Yes,
The assistant to the assistant of the regional manager.
something like that. I brought up to his attention a couple weeks ago that our parts washer was not working again. The previous service manager, when he was there, it actually broke while he was there, and he drained the parts washer. The service director drained the parts washer machine, cleaned out the bottom of it, all the shit from the bottom of the machine, cleaned the screens. Yeah, I know Mike is losing his shit right now. FYI, let the record state.
I have so many questions. I'll let you finish.
He's not afraid to get dirty with the rest of the technicians.
great.
And he would never ask us to do something he wouldn't do. So that's why he was perfectly fine getting into that. So anyways, because it was a problem and we couldn't get somebody out there to look at it. So he got it up and running again. All right, fine, great. It lasted all of 2 weeks. Mind you, he was already gone by this point. So I keep wanting to call him bitch boy. I'm just going to say it.
Oh my! Is that your service manager that you're talking about?
No. The little helper. And the,
okay,
I love you, Daniel. I do. If you're listening to this, I honestly do love you. So I let him know, hey, the parts washer's broken again. The door's falling off because one of the pins rusted and it snapped in half. And
I have some parts washers you can buy.
these are big fucking heavy door on this thing. Nothing like the one that I had in my bay over there.
You can buy that one if you want.
No, I'm good. Thanks. So the door is falling off and the breaker keeps popping and you can't reset it. You reset the breaker and it pops immediately. It's, oh, fuck. Okay, so we have to unplug it. So I let him know. Previous service manager was going to have the guy that handles the compressors and the lifts come out and look at it. The next day he was supposed to come out. He broke his fucking foot. So that didn't happen. Then the service manager left. So I reminded Daniel about getting it looked at, and I didn't hear anything about it. I'm not going to fucking babysit him. I don't need to check in every day. I'm not going to go walk over to the machine every goddamn day looking to see if it's working either. Granted, it's on the other side of the wall, but still, I'm too busy worrying about other shit. So yesterday, this actually happened yesterday. I go into the office because I'm working on a used car and I need a key code so that we can cut a key, and he's the only one that can get it for us. And our fixed ops director happened to be visiting that day because it's end of the month, and he's sitting in the service director's chair. So I'm talking to Daniel and I give him the paperwork. I need the key code. He's looking it up. I'm like, and I casually ask him. I said, "Hey, were you able to call somebody about coming out to fix the parts washer?" And the fixed ops director goes, "Well, what do you mean?" And I completely ignored him and I just continued talking to Daniel. He's like, "Oh, it's fixed already." I said, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I told you about." Then that was what I wanted to say. He's like, "Yeah, I told you about it." I said, "No, you didn't." He's like, "Yeah, we fixed it the next day." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, the parts manager came out and he fixed it with me." I was like, I highly doubt that. He's like, "Yeah, he did something and then he threw some soap in it and it's working now." I said, "He threw soap in it?" He's like, "No, just some white powdery stuff." I'm like, "You can't put that shit in there because it foams up and then it overflows." I'm like, "Whatever." And so we finish our conversation and then we'll just call him the FOD. Again, asked what happened. I said, the parts washer is not working again. I said, the door's falling off, the breaker keeps popping, it lasts maybe a week, 2 tops, and then it pops again. He tells me, I'm going to call bullshit on that. It took everything I fucking had. Absolutely everything. At first. At first.
How do you respond to that?
Those were his words.
Setting.
Verbatim. I said, and I tilted my head to the side and kind of gave him like, "Excuse me?"
Wait, do that again.
"Excuse me?" And he goes, I said, and I told him, I said, "So you're calling me a liar?" And he goes, "Not a liar per se." He's like, "But you're in here trying to get a key code from Daniel and you're making conversation." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Well, every time I'm here, it's working just fine." I'm like, "You're never here." I said, "You're here maybe twice a month, if that." "Well, I talked to the diesel guy and he says it's working fine." I said, "And I'm telling you it's not."
A very simple, well, why don't you step out to the shop and take a look at this thing?
He's like, "So it seems to me that you're just making conversation and making these things up." I said, "Oh my God."
You know how you said, how can you say that in a professional manner?
Yeah.
It's all like, I'll respond with, I saw something online with how you say fuck around and find out in a professional manner.
Oh, I love that video.
If you would like to test my hypothesis and learn the consequence on your own,
let's go ahead and travel down that road.
Remember that phrase, kids. Remember that phrase.
If you would like to test my hypothesis and figure out the consequences on your own, I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
It's brilliant.
My goodness.
Yeah. So I said, so where did I leave off?
You left off on you going, "Oh my God," after he said basically calling you a liar, only making...
Right, because I was making conversation
right.
Or whatever. I said, "So before you call me a liar again," I said, "why don't you go out in the shop and look at the machine?" So I'm telling you so that we have proper working equipment in the shop so that we can do our jobs to the best of our abilities. He's, oh, I completely agree, and I 100% support that. All of a sudden, his tone's changed. Okay, cool. So he tried like making jokes or whatever. I just completely ignored him until Daniel's taking fucking forever just to get me the goddamn key code. Of course, it seemed like an eternity because at this point it's uncomfortable.
There's a few keystrokes involved.
Right. So so he gets me the key code and he's like, oh, we'll get that fixed right away for you, buddy. I didn't say a word. And as I was walking out, I said, fucking asshole. And I walked away.
Out loud or under your breath?
Oh, no, I said it out loud. I don't know if he heard me, but I did say it out loud.
You know, you're not wearing the ripped pants right now, but the balls on this guy over here. I'm telling you.
I'm sorry. I have the utmost respect for anybody and everybody, including upper management.
But you have no filter.
I do have a filter, but
For those that deserve it.
for those, you know what? That was complete and utter disrespect.
Yeah, it was.
It goes out all the fucking way. I don't care if you're the owner of the goddamn company. I'm going to speak up and I'm going to say something about it. That was complete and utter bullshit. And whether or not he meant it to come out that way as calling me a liar,
Still did.
it came off that
That's
way.
how it was perceived.
So, and it was perceived that way. And I thought about that after the fact too. I'm like, that's how it came out and that's how it was perceived. So
Yeah,
if he
but-
wants to revisit this conversation later on, that's fine. And I'll address it with him in a calm and collected and professional manner and tell him whether or not that was his intent.
Right.
It came out that way.
How often do you have to deal with this person, though?
Again, once,
Twice a
maybe
month.
twice a month.
Just
But
it'll
he
be forgotten
He
by
every
next
time
time.
he comes, he makes rounds through the goddamn shop and talks to every single person.
Micromanage.
He is that motherfucker.
That's weird
to
for a fixed
a
ops
T.
person.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, stay in your lane, homie. No swerving.
You have nothing to do with that. And I'm going to
Go
backtrack
crunch numbers
here.
somewhere, please.
And I think maybe that machine is oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Calculator.
No, it's a
Purple.
Jesus Christ.
I hate you so much. A sensitive subject for him.
okay.
Because in my first week there, I spoke up about the parts washer not working. And I asked my first service director there about getting a new one. And she presented it to him. And he's like, absolutely fucking not. And made it a point to walk through the shop and ask every single technician if it was a necessity and if it was working.
You have like 3 or 4 departments that will be using that thing. Not every department
Tops.
uses
4
it.
is stretching it.
But depending upon how many technicians per department or whatever.
It's not
I mean,
the fucking point. The point is that
Mm-hmm.
the parts washer is a sensitive subject for him. So I think that's where this was stemming from.
It's your AC machine.
Seriously.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So
Way to circle back.
I
there.
have been taking my parts to the wash bay and spraying them with Motorcraft shampoo and degreaser.
Which is very expensive.
Yeah, but for warranty jobs.
Well, you're supposed to be charging that out
Yeah,
anyway.
we have to be using it. So I use
Wait,
the fuck out of it.
whoa. You guys charge out the greaser?
So
It's a one-time use part per Ford on cleaning and prepping sealing surface areas that require liquid silicone.
and what are the other 2 things that need to be charged out besides the silicone?
They are fucking irrelevant.
No.
We're talking about the shampoo and degreaser.
No.
We're talking prep wipes and gasket remover.
ZC30A.
Nobody knows part numbers. Keep it simple for
ZC31B.
our listeners.
I use prep wipes.
Well,
It's
no,
required
it's
prep wipes
different.
to prepare the surface for the sealing.
You wanna know
and
what'll
gasket
etching.
remover.
You want to know what ours are? Brake cleaner and straight edge blades.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, Ford, you have to have these chemicals charged out.
Even if you don't use them, which you should be.
I wish.
Even if you don't use them, they have to be charged out on the warranty repair
We
order.
would have so much less.
customer pay order, repair order as well.
We would have so much less bullshit with customers going, "Why does my fucking car smell?" If we could fucking wash parts.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Between me, you, and the wall, and our lovely listeners, I have never once used any of those, and I don't have comebacks for resealing timing covers or oil pans.
I have never not.
I
used
have
those.
a process in place for how I clean and prep the surface so that it's ready for silicone. I have never used those chemicals. They're too time consuming. They're fucking stinky. I fucking hate them.
If it works, don't fix it.
I don't really use. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I have to rephrase this. When I was working on cars, I never really used the silicone remover to break up the silicone. It took too much time. You have to let it sit there for a little bit and bubble up, and
there's residual, and it's fucking smells like Pledge on the wood cleaner.
Pledge on the wood cleaner.
I can't think straight right now. I'm so flustered.
I have always used that surface prep wipe, the metal etching wipe.
Never used it ever.
But if you don't mind, can I go back and revisit an issue that I?
Yes.
What? Oh, the metal surface prep wipes that like surfaces.
The chemicals in general.
Do you use your OTP prep products?
When resealing an engine, whatever it may be.
That will be our listener poll. Please go ahead when you're on Spotify, fill out this listener poll for us.
Isn't that one of our sponsors?
It is one of our sponsors.
Oh my god! Thank fucking goodness.
Oh yes.
I have a
Once
question.
circle back
though. So obviously, I was very upset about the fact that you are having this problem with your pressure, your parts washer.
Pressure cooker.
Well, it's a pressure cooker.
Oh, and the fact that the service director went in there and cleaned it out and got it working again? Yes.
Yeah. So where was your shop foreman in all of this? And I thought you were being shop foreman.
No, we don't have a shop foreman.
Do you want one?
Jesus Christ.
In me? Absolutely.
Around me?
In and around my mouth.
So you don't have anybody that helps out in the shop to do any of that? I know that you do a bit of work above and beyond what you're asked to, but
pro bono.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. That's a very eloquent way of putting it.
I'm more of a fucking shop foreman where I work than any of our techs, and that's not being mean to them. But if something breaks, or it's a computer problem, or they need help with a car, or programming a key, or something like that,
they call the Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
this motherfucker.
We just like to do what is required to make the dealership still continue to operate, because that's how I make my paycheck.
Well,
and if the rest of the shop works fine, then
I like that mentality of what you said, and that's where I look at that, where your service manager at that time, where he went out, got dirty, and cleaned that parts washer, it's the same thing. If I don't show my techs that I'm willing to go out there and help them with shit like that, why the fuck are they going to reciprocate?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I've told the techs a number of times, I know that I'm in this new role, in this new position, and I wear this fancy
personal office.
I wear these slacks and this stupid polo, and I'm in the office all the time. But
stop pretending that you hate it so much.
You like it a little.
Just a little. Thank you.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It is okay.
So to sidebar real quick, the amount that I like it is learning all of the new things.
That's fine, but you still like it,
and I like that part of it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Mike likes his collared shirt.
I also, well, it's not bad, and it feels it's much better material than the uniforms.
Yes, always is.
But I have so much money and tools and stuff down there, and like my entire life has been working on cars, and so now to be sitting behind a keyboard and clicking pens and swiveling chairs and clacking away.
But that's kind of the goal of a lot of people in the industry nowadays, is when they're in it that long, but they don't want to leave the auto industry, but they want to be away from the knuckle busting fucking chemical smell.
Yeah, but not in my 30s. Why not? Because I still had some years left.
Well,
Did you though,
Eric? Eric?
So real fast to bounce off of this, going to this serious topic, Sirius XM radio and the CX50.
I just realized that I put Sirius XX. I'm very sorry about that. I'm glad
That's okay. That's I knew. And what brought, or why this kind of reminded me, or it's kind of bounces off of this. Me and Eric were talking the other day, just randomly when he was picking up his car, because we were comparing dealerships and the good and the bad and the ugly. Is we have a very large multi-dealership conglomerate dealership line that's in the valley. Mm-hmm. Very well known. We know who it is.
Yes.
And they have a custom shop that they also do all types of fucking fun shit. Famous people use it. Regular people who have money to blow use it. Blah, blah, blah. They had a TV show. If you,
sorry, my ears perked up.
They have a TV show. If you know, you know. But we had a customer who bought a CX50 a couple of months ago. Nice guy, very eccentric, never shuts the fuck up, but means well. One of those.
Oh, like a Jake.
That's rude.
That's rude.
FYI, I don't think you're eccentric.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's usually a good thing.
So, and I feel bad for him in the case of he got fucked by sales, which happens all the time.
Yeah, what's new?
Customers, if you listen,
Par for the course.
I'm going to tell you something real fast on the sidebar. Sales people do not give a shit about you. The minute you drive off the lot, you never existed. Please do not buy a car based on miles per gallon because the salesperson will lie to you. What's on the sticker is an estimate. And fourth, before you pay for it, test drive it and make sure it has all of the bells and whistles that you want. End of rant. Moving on. This guy went in and looked at a CX-50.
And didn't do any of those things, did he?
He did, actually, which I give him credit for. However, one of the main selling points is he is a huge stickler and he loves Sirius XM. You like what you like. Whatever. He goes.
I kind of do too.
He goes in, he does the paperwork, gets set up. They decided to make a deal for him to pay a little bit more for it, that they would deliver the car to the house. That was kind of the trade-off. It was an extra $200. So I don't know the exacts.
That's stupid.
I know. Extra couple $100. They said, hey, we'll drive the car. Granted, it's about an hour and a half away.
Good Lord.
Yeah. We'll drive the car out to you. You pay the little extra up front for whatever fees, bull crap, we'll call it even. He was cool with that. What happened, and I don't know the logistics with this, but it would definitely piss me off. When the car arrived, and it was same color, same trim, same everything, gets the car, they leave. A week later, he realizes the car
Sirius XM.
the car does not have Sirius XM, and the car he originally looked at that he wanted did.
The old switcheroo.
Long story short, that car got sold before he signed. They said this was the same one, even though it wasn't. However, the salesperson that sold this said that Sirius XM can be added after the fact. It cannot in the Mazdas. The BCM will not allow it. You cannot program it to do it. It does not come with the wiring. It does not come with the antenna. It does not come with the unit.
Okay.
You cannot, at least factory-wise. You can add it aftermarket.
Right.
So
You gotta get that stupid fucking box. And,
correct. So this shop that we know about did it, but it's aftermarket. He was told it's not. We explained to him it is. Long story short, he came in for an update. We're having these connectivity issues with the new Mazdas that have a link via satellite that can do updates and all types of stuff. They're having a glitch where it disconnects, it throws on a check engine light. We do a software update and it fixes it.
Right.
To do this, you have to plug a USB in. After we did this update, his Sirius XM stopped working completely. All of my tech stumped. Tech line stumped. Everybody is stumped and we can't figure it out. When you plug it into IDS, it shows that XM doesn't exist because you can't do it factory. So there's nothing that can be updated or figured out. Long story short, once it finally, and I'm helping my tech, once I finally pull it around and I'm about ready to give it back to the customer, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call this dealership just on a whim to see if it's something fucking stupid. Call, get a service advisor. What did you guys do? He goes, well, what did you do? When did it stop? I explained what we did, the software update, because they're doing them too. And he goes, did you guys unplug the USB that powers the XM module?
Jesus
I'm like,
Christ.
I'm like, what? He goes, go into the center console. There's a USB cable that literally says Sirius XM on it. If it's unplugged, it cuts the whole system. Sure as fucking shit. The tech didn't plug it back in after plugging in the USB.
Oh, there's no face palm soundbite.
That's fucking annoying.
So I grabbed
Now
it.
you're occupying one of my USB ports. I'm going to be that bitch.
Right. So I grabbed the customer and I said, this is what happened. I'm like, see how you have XM? Now you don't. Now you do. He goes, it was just a USB. I'm like, goodbye. Have a wonderful time.
Oh my goodness.
And he was satisfied with that? Yep. I would have made them give me another car.
I know.
You know who meets all of my satisfaction, though? Besides you, JP.
Our sponsors?
Our fucking sponsors. We love you so much. Nick Lowridge from Matco Tools, supplying us with Matco Tools and Milwaukee products.
Yes, and Juristus Brothers products. And
Who gives
Travis
us those? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I still need pens.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you to Ray Moon from El Ranchito Taco Shop, supplying us with delicious treats and foods of the
And his creamy guac.
Mexican variety.
Indeed.
And we will be right back.
Bruce Vane and all the other people. Bye.
Love you.
Something smells delicious in here.
Yeah, it does. I'm hungry. Jake, are you eating El Ranchito Taco Shop?
That looks amazing. What did you order?
Tacos.
What?
Guac.
Jake, are you choking? Get out of my way, Michael. He needs the Heimlich.
Oh my god, I cannot believe this is happening again. Jake, you know you're allergic to avocado. One generic allergy medication later. Are you okay?
Yeah. Almost dying is so worth it to have some El Ranchito creamy guac. Thanks, Eric, for trying to save me, even though I wasn't joking.
I know. I just wanted to get you from behind.
Well, I guess this is a good time to tell everybody that if you're ever in the Inland Empire and are craving some great Mexican food, visit El Ranchito Taco Shop in Lake Elsinore.
Seriously, I follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Ranchito Elsinore.
El Ranchito Taco Shop.
More than just great Mexican food.
Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. We do really greatly appreciate
You're
it.
coming early again.
Bruce Vane for all of these fantastic tunes.
Let the music finish,
And we're back.
Michael.
And
No,
And you're not bringing us
Jake
back.
says
Jake
we're back.
is.
Yes, I am. We're back. Back again. Eric's back. Tell a friend.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. That was a reach. Thank you to our sponsors. Like Mike said, very premature. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you to our listeners. You guys are awesome too. There's a dog upstairs shitting her pants. With that, it's the call. The call. Crack 'em. So, that was a low one.
I was trying to open it one-handed without spilling it.
Successful. That's my favorite flavor.
successful.
This is my favorite flavor.
Yeah.
31 flavors. Flavor. Oh no! Wow.
Way to go, Jacob. This is your fault.
All right, everybody, continue with the podcast. I will go get a towel.
Mike is going to go get a towel because I spilled my drink on the carpet. Party foul!
Eric, you've got your white foamies everywhere.
I'm sorry, Kevin and Issa.
So, wow.
Jesus Christ.
Workplace.
At least it's clear.
workplace injuries.
Indeed.
Yes, we have a.
I don't have those.
No.
No.
How come?
I just don't have any.
Oh, I hurt myself at work, guys. I was helping a tech, and
did.
and I lifted a tire wrong. Well, I kind of caught a tire wrong, and it hurt my shoulder and my neck, and I've got poor mobility. But drinking alcohol makes me feel better.
Indeed.
So I had to go through the whole bullshit of, I hurt myself at work. Everything has to stop. Okay, you have to fill out this paperwork. You have to go to our doctor and our urgent care. They have to release you before you can come back to work. And it's just such bullshit. Just
Get some drugs.
yeah, get some drugs. I don't like prescription pills. That's what makes it more difficult. They make me feel weird.
I think a lot of people beg to differ.
Oh, yes, by far, including my sister.
The state of Florida.
The state of Florida. I got, what did I get? Flexeril. Cyclobenzaprine.
Yeah, what he said, I have no idea what he was talking about. He's speaking Greek to me.
Methylrelactharth.
Ew.
Yeah.
Want to share some of those?
If he didn't give me more than 10.
Jesus Christ. Maybe if he did give you more than 10, you would.
Absolutely. I had, the last time I hurt myself, or when I had my kidney stone, they gave me 120.
Holy fuck, bro.
I know. I didn't even remotely put a dent in those fuckers, and I was taking a couple a day.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Michael. Well, moving on from my simple workplace injury, and I'm feeling better, kind of, I guess. But then again, I've got alcohol in me. Moving on to after Eric spilled his drink, there's a topic called "You Can't Fix Stupid."
Yeah. So this one's a short one.
We all have subjects on that.
So
I became a service advisor, so case in point.
I was diligently working today, minding my own business, and Javier comes up to me. Hi, Javi.
I know, Javi.
Yes, you do. And he goes, and he's just,
Is Javi a tech?
He is. He's a brakes and front end tech. So I'm in an engine bay, and he comes over, and he just leans on the fender, and he stares at me. And I look at him like, what? You got a minute to go on a real quick road test? Sure.
No, but okay.
Actually, I think that's what I said verbatim.
Yeah. Hey, are you busy right now? Yes, I'm busy right now. No, I have all the time in the world.
Yeah,
What do you?
I'm elbow deep in a fucking wiring harness, but I've got all the time in the world.
So I go out back. I hop in a F-250 with him, and we drive up to the roof. He's like, "You're going to hear it right away." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So he starts doing circles, and only with the wheel cut all the way, we start hearing this clunking noise.
Okay.
It sounds like a loose suspension component, if you will. It goes clunk, 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 clunk. There's no consistency to it. It's just kind of clunking along as the wheels cut all the way doing circles.
Okay.
All right, cool. So I get out of the truck. I have him do laps. I'm like, I think it might be coming from the middle of the truck. He's like, yeah, I kind of thought so too. And he cuts the wheel all the way, and we're grabbing suspension. He stops, and we're grabbing suspension components. Don't feel anything moving other than the U-joints for the front axles. It's a four-wheel drive F-250. I'm like, I don't know if that's excessive play or if that's normal. We have to get another truck and check. And so I'm like, let me try something. So I get in the back seat, but the seat was folded up, and I lay down on my stomach, and I'm hanging out the side of the truck while he's doing laps.
Eric's wild diagnostic procedures again.
Indeed. And I've got my head all the way underneath the truck, and I'm trying to see if I see anything or, can hear it. And I hear it. I don't see anything because I can't go out far enough without falling out. So I'm like, I think it might be the center support for the drive shaft. I can feel it on the frame, because I was grabbing the frame when I was hanging out. And he's like, you think so? I said, maybe. He's like, well, let's get it in the air. So he gets it in the air, and we go look at the center support. Center support's fine. Everything's bolted. Nothing's out of place. It's moving the way it's supposed to. We start moving things by hand. Nothing. Again, we're fucking with the front wheels and turn it all the way, and nothing. We're just like, fuck, what the fuck? So as I previously mentioned, this is a four-wheel drive vehicle. And so I happened to walk out from underneath the truck, and I'm looking at the rotor as he's moving the axle from the outside, and my eyes glance to the center of the wheel. And I look at the locking hub. And I turn the knob from locked to auto. And then I go check the other wheel. And I do the same thing. Lo and behold, the goddamn sound goes away.
So do you want to explain in a little bit more simpler terms what you did to repair that vehicle?
Reader's Digest.
The idiot customer locked his front hubs on a four-wheel drive system manually, even though they're vacuum controlled. Because on the older four-wheel drive trucks, you would have to physically get out of the truck, lock your front hubs manually with the knob in the middle of the wheel, and then go back in the truck and then shift it into four-wheel drive, and you'd go on your way. With modern vehicles that have shift on the fly, which is a knob that you turn on the dash, and then it automatically engages the four-wheel drive. You don't have to do that because it's controlled by vacuum, and it engages the hubs via vacuum. But if you have a floor shifter that you have to engage the four-wheel drive system, again, you have to get out and you have to manually lock the hubs. This had shift on the fly. it has that manually locking hub option in
As a
case
fail-safe.
it's a fail-safe
Yeah.
in case you need to
Gotcha.
get out of a sticky situation and you can't shift it
Right.
on the fly. So these idiots, we'll call them, were manually locking their hubs and they never took it out of locked. So the front hubs were always engaged, even though the transfer case was, and it was clunking when you were turning. And
That's not warranty.
that's not fucking warranty. I said,
Where's Allie when you need her?
I told him, I said, I hope you charge him 2 hours for this shit. He's like, oh, I'm going to charge him up the ass. It's like, okay. So anyways, you can't fix stupid.
Yes.
No, unfortunately not.
That's where that came from.
Yes. I actually have one to bounce off of this for you can't fix stupid for a noise complaint. Customer came in with a CX9. 22, 23. It was pretty new, very, very little miles. So she goes, there is a rattle coming from either. Oh, it came outside?
My
you
can
cracked that wrong.
inverted.
Oh,
I was
Pop top inverted.
I was drinking inverted.
his innie became an
Oh,
Audi.
by the way, do you need another one because
No,
most of it
it's-
spilled on my carpet?
No, I'm sorry about that. It's fine.
I got most of it. It's okay.
I think that autistic guy's following me.
Jesus Christ.
That's a story for a different time, people.
Yes.
And she comes in, she goes, I'm pretty sure I'm getting a rattle from
Canceled.
the middle of the dash or my center console. We're like, okay, how often? She's like, well, sometimes. I'm like, okay, great. So it doesn't exist.
Right.
Anyways, we go, would you like to take a test drive with us so that you can drive where you've heard it, or if you know of some way that you can make it duplicate?
duplicate, yeah.
I don't have time for such trivial things. I just trust you all.
Please tell me you're joking.
I'm not. So we're like,
You can trust it to sunbake out in the lot for a little bit.
As she puts on her sun hat and puts her Gucci purse over her shoulder.
I believe that.
So
In a Mazda?
Yeah, I was gonna say the CX9. Calm down, sweetheart. So she leaves and she goes, I trust your text. If you find it, you find it. We're like, okay, that's fine. That's all we really need to hear.
Sure,
if
it's fair.
If it's more, if you fall onto it, awesome. It's not like you need to fix this. Cool. Go about your day. So
And she wanted rental.
no, thank God. So I test drive it. My service manager test drives it. My tech drives it. My tech then drives it with my service manager, and I forget who else. Not in that order. I was the very last one. Nobody heard it. Alex thought he heard something, but it went away pretty much instantly. So I thought it was just the car making a creak noise. I heard something. It was really faint, but I'm like you, Eric, when it comes to those noises. I hyperfixate on it and then I never unhear it again. So that's the problem. It's like, it's there.
Typical customers. Oh my God.
It's just fucking there. It's like you hear it fucking once, you know where it's at, you can lock your fucking eyes on it and it will never go away.
Get out of here.
It's crazy. It's a curse, man.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. We need to talk about my Mazda.
Yeah, I bet.
The one you just got fixed
The one I just picked up from the Mazda dealership.
ever since you.
Ever since you.
No, it was doing it before.
So I test drive it and I'm getting it like mainly rough road, so excessive multiple vibration. And I'm using my superpower, as some might call it, and my ears hone in on it. And it's coming from the center console, and I'm looking, and I keep hearing it. So I kind of lean over, and what has fallen
This bitch. Oh no.
What has fallen
Oh no.
in between the seat, which touches the plastic of the center console bottom, so the actual, I guess you could call it pieces of the trim.
Her vibrator.
Debbie's muffin top.
That would have been fucking hilarious. It is her AirPod case
Oh.
that has this bedazzled carabiner on it. And the carabiner is in just a spot where it's sitting on top of the case, where it's moving enough, it hits the plastic. So I remove it, put it in the cup holder, put the carabiner in my fucking pocket after removing it.
You stole it?
What's a carabiner?
Those big clips.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The hiking clip. if you will.
Yeah, the mountain
Yes,
climbing.
mountain climbing.
Yes,
Yeah.
that.
Gotcha.
Let's say I
And,
have like 7 of them around here somewhere.
and lo and behold, the noise disappears. What a surprise. So I put the clip back onto it and put it, and I tell the service advisor that's working on it and my service manager. And we decide to tell the customer, hey, it might have been this. Who fucking knows? But we told her we think it was this. And she's like, oh, is that where those were? So
I fucking love it. Oh, that's great. I would love to meet her.
yeah. So
And you guys did that
that
for free.
wasn't for free. Yes, actually, we did because. So that's your story, I'm assuming. No one works for free.
Oh yeah. So in my new role as being like the internal service advisor, we get situations where I'm not calling out anybody specifically. This is a completely hypothetical situation.
Was that a real sneeze?
Yes, it was.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
I thought that was like on point with like bullshit, and you were gonna say I'm allergic to bullshit. I'm like,
No.
that was the most real sounding fake sneeze I've ever heard.
No, it was real.
Bless you.
Thank you.
So let's say that a customer trades in a newer Explorer, and the customer then realizes multiple days later that they left their roof rack on it, and the customer wants to come down and grab the roof rack, but the customer doesn't have a tool and just expects to have the roof rack taken
Of
off.
course. What, are you stupid? Of course.
So now my question, I get this information from the salesperson, and I say, that's fine. I can have a technician take this off for you and bring it up to your office with all the hardware and everything all nice and neat.
For a price?
Yeah, how much is my technician getting paid for this? Well, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Well, I mean, you're asking my technician to perform work with tools, and I'm pretty sure that's what they get paid to do. He's also doing other things.
Let me ask you a question to answer your question. Do you come to work? Yeah. Do you like to get paid for coming to work? Yeah. So do my techs.
So the story gets better. So then the salesperson says to me, well, okay, I'll just go borrow a tool and I'll do it myself.
You ain't borrowing shit.
Borrow a tool from who? That technician that they paid for, that they're not getting money? What? Absolutely not. And, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, obviously, I'm not going to make this into a huge deal. I will do it myself with my own freaking tools. It's going to take me 30 seconds to pop this thing off. But, you have to understand that when services are rendered, services need to be paid.
That's right.
Okay. So I proceeded to tell him that. And it turns into this whole fiasco where now all of a sudden that the customer that didn't have the tools to remove the thing is going to go buy the tools and take it off himself.
Cool story, bro.
This is me washing my hands of the problem.
Great. Have a nice day.
Yeah, more power to you, bro.
You turn your car in and there's sunglasses in the center, console. I'm very sorry. I hope that somebody would have taken those out for you. But honestly, any personal belongings that are left in the vehicle just disappear with the vehicle. It goes detailed. They clean the car out for like a new person. All that stuff gets thrown in the trash. You should have remembered to take the stuff off of your vehicle.
Yep.
But more so to the point, no one works for free, and don't ever let somebody make you work for free.
I don't work for free.
Yes.
I try to tell that to people all the time. I had to explain to a friend yesterday because, oh my God, he brings his car in for me just to do a quick inspection because he went to the worst place on the fucking planet, Firestone. Oh. And they told him he needed a laundry list.
I was going to say like Lancaster or Palmdale.
Those two. No. A laundry list of shit that he needed. So I wanted to confirm and sure as shit he didn't need any of the stuff they recommended to him. And so,
oh yeah, when customers talk, oh, dealerships just hose you. Okay, you go to Breakmaster or Firestone, have fun.
Yeah. So he was having problems with his radio, and so he goes to me. He's all, oh, can you scan it for me, please, and get the codes so that when I take it to Toyota, I can just give them the codes. And so I proceeded to explain to him. I said, look, I'm going to tell you exactly how this situation.
Oh, you have the thread still?
Yeah. I do.
How this is going to play out.
Scrolling to it real quick. I said, I'll tell you exactly how that will go. You're going to try to give them information, and they're going to tell you that they still need to look at it and diagnose it themselves.
Yep.
That's exactly what any repair shop would do. Walking up to an advisor telling them you have specific codes isn't going to give them the ability to tell you what it needs or what's wrong. The crystal ball I mentioned earlier. Understand that repair shops don't work for free. They have to be paid for their time. If they're not being paid to look at your car, they're working for free and losing money on another job that will pay them. That's not how diagnosis goes. It still needs to be looked at and the proper test performed. It's not going to save you any money either. Oh, God damn it. He texted me mid fucking read. Okay, I have my thumb on it now.
I hate that shit.
Oh, fuck, man. It's not going to save you any money either if that's what you're trying to accomplish. All you're going to do is annoy the service advisor.
Yep.
Then they don't want to help you at all and will most likely just stick it to you.
Yep.
A concern like what you're having typically doesn't set codes like you think it may. It has to be a hard fault like none of it works at all. All that being said, yes, I'll scan it for you, but I don't anticipate it's going to yield any kind of information. I hope that made sense.
Well, first of all, that's very good of you to be able to relay that sort of information in a friendly way. Yes, educate
Customer
that person.
educated.
But your articulation was fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I
that was
appreciate
really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
It took me about a half hour to write because I wanted to make sure it came out right without being condescending.
yeah.
Hey,
that's a gentle situation. I mean,
Especially on fucking texts.
yeah. Well, because there's no inflection.
What
Yeah,
do you fucking mean? I'm like, well, I was just saying hi.
Right. Exactly. So,
But with that off the same thing where people come in with codes and we tell them that, it's like, we cannot take the other shop's word. Why not? They're a repair shop. Because let's just say on a fucking whim, especially on a customer pay job. So you're telling me this code that you've got, that could be anything from your catalytic converter to injectors to a fuel rail to your spark plugs to your coils. You just want me to throw on a cat? What happens if it's wrong? And they go, well, and
that's what I tell people all the time. So
if you want me to throw on a cat and you're not going to get mad, and as soon as it's something else where it was the first time when we were able to diagnose and you're still going to give me the money, sure, you can pay me a fucking ridiculous $3,000 for no reason. I don't give a shit. Or you can give us $195 for us to tell you what it really needs.
I get that all the time, and it's like, well, can't you just plug the computer in and it'll tell you what's wrong with it? I said, sure, I'll plug the computer in right now. And in a hypothetical situation, it's got a P0301. Do you know what that means? No. Okay. Well, that's a misfire on cylinder number 3. So what does that mean?
so
I don't know.
number one.
I was going to say, yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, wait a minute, yours is 3?
Cylinder
I'm like, that's asinine.
So I say, okay, so that means that you're missing one of 3 things: fuel, air, or spark. So what do I
All
replace?
different parts.
Yeah. What do I replace? Well, I don't know. Exactly.
You don't know.
Neither do I until we diagnose it. Just because we plug the computer in and it spits out a code to us doesn't mean replace such and such part. Typically, yeah, we can parts cannon it all the time. Shout out to Dale Follett.
Hi there.
But I mean, that's not how this industry works. I would much rather diagnose the problem and tell you for sure that this broken part that I'm holding in my hand is going to fix your vehicle.
Yep.
The only code that I would be willing to take it and run with it is
I know.
P0420
Or 430.
or 430.
Yes, absolutely.
That's it.
Catalyst deficiency, bank 1 or 2. Bank 2
Yes.
for the
The only fucking code I would be willing to
But
run.
there's a caveat.
Is that for the-
why did it fail?
Is that for the back end?
Possible that it had other issues?
Is that a back end O2 sensor?
No,
it's
it's
a
a catalyst.
cat.
Oh, it is for the cat.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's cat.
Because
Bad
with
cat.
with the Mazdas, a bad map sensor will throw that same code.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And again,
Or O2.
technically, it could be other things. And you're right. What was the cause of the cat failing? If the vehicle comes in with 350,000 miles, then I'm going to go with
Just the cat
it's
failed.
old. The
Yeah.
cat needs to be
But
replaced.
800 miles, that's curious.
On your guys' average Ford vehicles, do you have a warm up cat and the back cat?
No.
Well, wait.
No.
Are you talking about catalysts?
Yes,
themselves?
he's thinking of Toyotas. Do you guys have that too?
Yeah, we have.
Fords do not.
We have a 3-way warm up and then the back cat.
No, we
Wait,
don't.
they have like a 2-way and a 3-way?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Do you realize it's 2023?
Toyota still does it, and apparently so does Mazda. And Honda's too, I believe.
And
Honda's as well.
You got to remember, Mazda and Toyota are in bed with one another right now.
It is 2023, people.
Speaking of cats,
Meow.
I know.
David's check engine light came on the other day.
On the
for
Volvo?
first time on his Volvo.
That's
And-
not what it's called.
Close enough because it's a little bitch car. Anyways, don't he doesn't listen to the podcast. If you ever meet David, tell him
love
he
you, David.
drives an Edward Cullen's car. It drives him up fucking wall.
Edward Collins.
Because in the Twilight movie, that was the car he was driving. It's a
Fuck
little.
is a Twilight.
Twilight Zone.
Stop being fucking.
Oh
naive.
no, sorry.
He knows what I'm talking
Sorry,
about.
that Twilight.
Twilight. The
vampires and werewolves. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So, anyways,
They
plug
twinkle in the moonlight.
Yes, they do. I plug in my scan tool and it's got a P0420.
Party time.
How many miles?
244,000 miles.
Customer pay. Customer pay.
Yes.
Well, you got your money out of that
It's
one.
in 2013. So,
Oh, geez.
yeah.
God, that looks good for a 2013. I got to
know.
give kudos for that.
Yeah, he must have a really good mechanic.
Couldn't be.
Toot toot, motherfucker. Anyways, so in our lovely state of California, in our emissions laws, you cannot purchase a federal cat for these vehicles unless it's a federal vehicle and it's a factory part. Aftermarket. You cannot purchase them aftermarket unless it is CARB, California Air Resources Board.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Carb compliant.
Yes, CARB compliant. So there are very few companies who make aftermarket cats for these vehicles. Magnaflow is one of them, but they don't.
Oh, I didn't know the Magnaflow was.
Yes, they do. They don't make them for all vehicles. Though.
Sure.
So I called assuming that nobody, was going to have something like
What
that.
about Borla?
I don't know. Probably. I called Volvo to get a quote for the cat. Oh, by the way, Volvo also has the pre and post cat.
Do they?
As well, yes. This vehicle has two cats in line with each other, and you can only buy it as an assembly.
Of
with
course.
both cats.
Of course.
With my discount.
Oh, hold on.
Anyone want to throw out a number?
I'm going to say 24 and some change.
Okay, Michael.
$23.99.
I hate you so fucking much.
The price is right. $5,600.
Holy shit.
What?
I won the showcase, by the way.
$5,600 with my discount.
That is ridiculous.
The car's worth $7,000.
That's asinine. So it's time to put a bullet in it.
Whatever, do it.
What?
Really? Wait.
That was his. Just order it.
Holy shit. Do
Didn't
you,
even.
do you want me to double check to see if I can get it cheaper?
I had my parts manager.
I think it's too late.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
List price was like almost $7,000.
Holy shit.
Can't we just
No wonder the place I worked when they were a Volvo dealership, they were all swimming in fucking cash.
can't we
That's
just,
why.
wire a resistor in there and make it pass smog?
The light,
yeah, can you jump a wire?
the check engine light turned itself off, and then it came back on a month later.
That's
So little tidbit
That's
of
insane.
information.
Oh, you know what's funny? And I got in the car yesterday, and it was off again.
little tidbit of information. There is a gentleman that works more towards the beach communities that is a bar referee, or I'm sorry, is it, what do you,
Yeah.
smog ref, whatever.
Bar referee, yeah.
He allegedly will pass a car that has a pending emissions code. As long as it is not hard set. He said, and he's not breaking any laws. He's like, in the guidelines of California, a pending emission code, it falls under a completely different fucking category. So if you're looking to pass smog and you'd like his name, as long as it is fucking pending.
And not permanent, which typically
Correct.
they go hand in hand.
Correct.
I caught a local smog shop of ours that passed a vehicle with blatantly aftermarket and non-California smog legal equipment on it.
They didn't do a visual.
Well, they should have, because that's part of the smog inspection.
I'm just
now.
calling it out. They didn't do a fucking visual.
If you go to a place that's smog now, star certified, $35, guess what? It's sketchy.
Yeah, sketchy as fuck. I mean, the customer won't get penalized. It's the goddamn, shop that the facility.
Did you know that California's got a decibel limit law for exhaust?
Yes.
Of course.
What the fuck was that?
Other states do too. It's not just California, but yes, other
Arizona,
states do too.
lots of other
Why
places.
hasn't anybody gone to totally sue the state and go, that's how I express myself?
What, by being loud? That's Eric's job.
No, that's fucking obnoxious. I support it. I think people with loud exhaust should fucking rot in hell.
To a certain extent, I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want that
There's
Honda
this-
Civic in front of my house revving.
Okay,
at 2
yeah,
a.m.,
that's a
but-
different fucking
There's
story.
a fucking asshole that lives in our complex, okay?
Oh, you've told me about this guy.
Have I?
Yes, you have.
What does he drive?
Eric, calm down.
Lexus?
No. Okay, I didn't tell you about this guy. So there's one driveway that goes into my complex at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
My unit is the front fucking unit, okay?
unit?
And it's got maybe 100 feet before it curves to the right and then an immediate left down the alley to the other units. This asshole, every night, without fucking fail, at about 10:30 at night.
Honey,
mind
I'm
you,
home.
we sleep with the windows open. He drives a fucking Mazda
Oh, I hate
God.
those people.
RX-8
Oh, Jesus.
The Wolverine edition.
slammed with a fucking fart can on the back. And he pulls,
Glory life, bro.
you hear him
Glory
coming
life.
up the street. He slows down and he doesn't want to, smash the front bumper pulling in the driveway. But the second he's clear of that, he guns it that 100 feet to the speed bump, then stops and goes over the speed bump, then guns it again around the corner to his unit at the end of the fucking drive.
Sounds like you need more speed bumps.
Every goddamn night. And I'm either downstairs on the sofa in the corner or I'm upstairs in bed. And by the time I get up, he's already fucking gone. And he parks in a garage, and I don't know which fucking garage it is, so I can't go figure out what unit he lives in because he's a piece of shit.
I gotta admit, if it's a modded RX-8, they're all pieces of shit.
Oh my God.
They are all pieces of shit, man. You'll have the old guys that they're stock and cherry and they're super nice, or you've got the fucking 18 to 24-year-old that's like, this is my first project car.
Yes, exactly. And I cannot tell you how many times, and no cap, how many times I have thought, like, I've gone through my mind, I'm like, if I had a BB gun, or if I just go down there with a bottle of alcohol and a rag stuffed in it.
Oh my God.
And he's parked in the. I literally have had these thoughts go through my head.
Intrusive thoughts are winning.
Eric's about to commit multiple felonies.
I have kitchen knives and he has 4 tires. Like, I have literally thought of all these
all you gotta
fucking
do,
things.
Eric, all you gotta do is
Put
pull
sugar in his gas tank.
valve stem cores. Pull out the valve stem
No,
cores.
because then he can fix that.
Well, not for a while.
He's got an RX-8. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely. That's great to fucking do until it starts whistling when you pull one out. How are you going to get to the other 3 before he comes outside?
Have 3 friends help you.
How to fuck up apex seals.
Seriously. I mean, you know those cars well. How can I fuck his life?
Yeah.
Well, just let nature run its course on the RX-8, and
This
you
is
should be
true.
okay.
The biggest
It'll
giant-
stop running at some point, apparently.
I hope so. I really do. And in our 6 years of living in this complex, we have never had an issue like that ever.
Do you want to do listener mail this week or next week?
We can do it real quick.
It's not.
It's a long
short
one.
Oh, is it?
It's not a
sure.
short
We,
one.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's just go ahead. We've missed it by like 4 weeks, so
Yeah, this is a good one.
Okay.
Okay, so Eric, please, if you don't mind, the listener mail.
the one thing, if you get chummy with him and he'll let you go into the car and let you drive it at some point, drive it away from him where he can't see it, turn it off, fucking have your foot on the fucking gas and just flick the fucking ignition a couple of times, let it flood real fucking bad, then fucking pull the fuel pump fucking relay,
Nice.
keep the ignition fucking running, Put it back in and just be like, oh, dude, it stopped. I need a tow. And let him figure out how to unflood that motherfucker.
Nice. Duly noted. I'm glad I noticed it. This is from our good friend and listener. He goes by Norbert. He says, all right, sit down, buckle up, take your shoes off, and let's get going. Woo-hoo. The shoes will come in later.
I am seated, shoeless.
He says, my name is Norbert. I'm a Toyota Master Diagnostic Technician. I have been wrenching for almost 18 years, all with Toyota. Story time. One of my favorite stories comes from the last dealership I worked for. We will start with Steve, who purchased a 2005 Toyota Tundra, brand new from a dealership 30 minutes west of Kansas City. I don't want to name the specific city, but if any of my old coworkers hear this, they will know exactly who the customer is. Steve does something with cattle out in western Kansas, so he puts a ton of miles on his truck weekly. I have worked on it numerous times and still have the timing belt stickers from 400,000 and 500,000 miles.
Jesus.
Steve is a little weird. Over the course of working on it for several years, I got to go with several test drives with him. When we would go on a test drive, he would get in, buckle up, and then remove his shoes and drive barefoot or with socks on every time.
Gross.
Rain, shine, sleet, snow, didn't fucking matter. Oh, and let's not forget that he works with cattle. So there is always a faint smell of cattle manure in his truck.
Shit.
I also forgot to mention Steve always wears sunglasses. Inside, outside, I never saw his eyes. So now that you have a good understanding of Steve, let's get to the bad part. I left this dealership for one closer to home. Sad that I would never have to be stuck on a test drive with Steve again. I was at my new dealership for about 6 months, then I got news that one of the master techs had been doing a timing belt, did not verify the belt was lined up correctly, and started the engine, only to hear the valves and the pistons meet each other in the worst possible way. Obviously, the tech was having an off day. It was an accident. Dealership was ready to put a used engine in at no charge to Steve. That was not okay with him. He was determined to take this Tundra to 1,000,000 miles. So he had the dealership come to an agreement to rebuild his engine. He chose his own machine shop, and I think the cylinders were bored to 50 thousandths over. There were not a whole lot of aftermarket performance options for some Toyotas. Anyway, 8 or so months after the unity of pistons and valves, guess what truck I see sitting next to my dispatcher's desk? Steve has been driving the truck for a little bit, but had now been noticing some oil consumption and misfires and wanted me to look at it. Fantastic. Of course. Pulled the plugs out, caked with oil. I tell him that I know what happened and that Jay would need to do some more tests. Oh, that I would need to do some more tests to find out the source of the oil consumption. He refused and wanted me to throw the other dealership under the bus. That's when I found out about the lawsuit.
Oh.
He was suing the other dealership and then was upset when I would not help him without proper diagnosis. Of course, this all happened during the first summer of COVID, so the trial kept getting delayed and pushed back. Fast forward to a couple weeks ago when I had training with one of the other techs from the old dealership. We caught up for a bit and I asked him how the case was going. He simply said it got thrown out. I asked more about it and he told me that at one point Steve, and I do air quotes every time I say his name because he has it in quotations every time.
I can hear it. I mean, to me, I see you do it, but I can hear it also.
At one point, Steve and the GM got into a very heated argument that escalated into Steve saying that he would gladly take the GM out back and kick his ass. All in front.
Welcome to Kansas.
I want to be a fly in that room.
All in front of a busy showroom floor waiting area.
Oh.
Needless to say, the case was dismissed pretty quickly once that piece was brought up. Steve and his wife were both banned from the visiting dealership, and I have not seen him since that one visit. Sorry for such a long story. I need to give a shout out to my service manager, Mike Hogg, for introducing me to the show 3 or 4 episodes in. I fell in love with you guys, and you are always in my earbuds Monday mornings, and I'm always cracking up. Thank you for the great content, and keep up the good work. Norbert.
Thanks, Norbert.
Thank you, Norbert. Thank you, Norbert. We appreciate you very much. Anybody else who
Don't
has...
apologize for long stories. We love them.
Yes, they are the best. Thank you very much.
How do you think we fill this time?
I really appreciate you allowing me the privilege of reading that to our listeners. Any hoozle, you know who else heard that, right?
Sponsors?
The sponsors.
Sponsors.
Thank you to Nick Larridge from Echo Tools.
Thank you so much to Ray Moon from El Ranchito Taco Shop and Creamy Guick.
Travis Ferris from Hit Distributing, who has failed to supply us with pens.
But he doesn't fail to supply us with amazing products.
Like JB80. Twice as good.
Thank you to Dale Follett from twistedbuilds.com. Also, thank you to Bruce Vane
I
for
said
these
it first.
amazing tunes.
Thanks, Norm.
Thanks, Norm. Yeah, it's a pleasure. You're always welcome out here.
Storm and Norman.
And Dale, when are you coming out, dude? It's a public shout out.
Yeah, bro.
You got to come out.
Bruh.
Was that one guy's name something Hog?
I don't know.
Mike Hogg.
Mike Hog?
Oh, yeah.
Mike Hog? Would you like to see Mike Hog?
I would like to see your cog.
And with that, we say...
So this has been a great episode, but I do miss Allie, right? I want to give a shout out to Allie. She's great. Don't start with me. She's great.
Of course, I miss my little bestie. I've been hugging the pillow that's next to me on the sofa.
DJ, shut up, you suck.
It's okay. I got the Ulu separated out.
I quit.
I quit.
I'm quitting. I'm leaving.
If you say ooh one more fucking time.
Okay. And
It's all in fight.
Yes, it is. Fun and fight.
we want to thank all of our supporters, Drew and Neo, Tyler Kotlerick, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bad
And
bitches unite.
With that, we say...
Ooh.
Yes. With that, we say...
Mike Hog.
I love you. Love you.
Love you.
Love you. Hi, this is Mike Sarah from Customer States. Matco Tools is one of the best tool companies in the industry, and Nick Lowridge is one of the best Matco tool distributors. Nick can get me anything I need for the shop or for at home. From oil drain pans to beef jerky, Nick's got what I need on tap. Nick works in the Thousand Oaks, California area, and you too can get whatever you need by calling him at 805-796-7323. And if you're not in that area, call him anyway and tell him you heard about him from the Customer States podcast. And then you can hop on to matcotools.com and find a Matco Tools distributor near you. Matco Tools. Service, trust, results.